Hey everyone, this is Dr. Heckle. I'm here to discuss some of the new items I patched in with the latest patch. That's patch 1.36. Some of these items have been updated in patch 1.40 and before, and this patch also included items that were removed in patch 1.36, and I'll be discussing the new items and their impact on gameplay in the metagame, and the old items and their impact on the same things. So the first one I want to bring up is the first one added. I'm just going to go straight down the list from the changelog, is the Eternal Drive, and that gives, as we can see, 300 health, 20 weapon damage, 5 times health regen, which is very strong, and 3 times energy regen, which is also very strong. But what's very, very strong about this item is it's active. And this active heals everyone in a 10-unit radius, which is the same radius as those unique Rs that the item gives. Heals for 20% of their maximum health over 15 seconds with a 60-second cooldown. Now that is very, very strong, especially for scenarios where you're going to be sticking around for a while, like sieging a base, doing Aeon, or doing Daggeth. Now, the thing about this, it's going to affect the most is tanks. Tanks are going to benefit from this extremely, and it's going to create a lot of stalemates, especially if two sides get this. It's basically having a mobile pool for you and your team. And combine this with an Aeon, with his ult and his healing, with Caustic Salve and his AoE heal, it's going to create a lot of standoff scenarios. I feel this is very strong. So any percentage-based healing item is in it, like any percentage-based healing, especially in an item form, is incredibly strong. And I feel like this needs to be toned down a lot, maybe made to be flat healing. This percentage-based healing is, like, for tankier heroes, is just going to break stuff, in my opinion. This is going to be it's going to slow down the metagame a lot. It's going to make teamfights very boring. Base siege is very boring, and I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's a little powerful. I think it needs nerfing. Second item added is called Silver Soul. That gives energy. It's right here. It's 350 energy and 20% spell resist. Good pickup for casters that, when there are when there are casters on the other team that could be perceived as a threat. But the unique part about Silver Soul is its passive, and that is when every time you use an ability, you and nearby allies gain in a 10-unit radius, same as our good friend Eternal Drive, gain a 15% movement speed bonus for 6 seconds. I'm not quite sure why this is a passive. Didn't really think that mobility was that big an issue, especially for an AoE. I don't really see a lot of synergy here, but I do see it being very good for casters that rely on positioning a lot. Guys like your Jacksons, your Egons, people like that. It's an interesting item. I don't see it being picked up too much, but it's nice. I like where it is. Maybe want to throw in some other things in there to sort of sweeten up the pot, make it picked up a bit more. Next item on the list is a very unique item. It's called the Masamune, and it costs 5,000 minerals. It gives cooldown reduction, movement speed, 100 weapon damage, because I believe it is built out of a Hyperion Incinerator, of course. Sledgehammer and a Runic Gavel, which, 50. Yeah, basically the recipe cost gives an extra 5 weapon damage, but very unique because this is the only item that I know of, correct me if I'm wrong here, I am fallible, which actually reduces the wearer's spell and physical damage resist. And that is very interesting because I don't believe there's any other item that reduces these resists. And the unique for Masamune is that every time you attack, you gain 5% time, or time scale as the tooltip says, for 3 seconds, up to 15% time scale. This basically gives you better regen for health and energy, and I believe I don't think you move faster or attack faster. I just think you gain a bunch of regen, which is pretty good for sustained AA battles. I could see a lot of AA, even hybrid casters, picking this up for survivability in team fights as an alternative to lifesteal. With the 15% cooldown reduction is nothing to sneeze at. Especially like the big example we're going to see reoccurring here is our good friend Geminus Boros, who benefits a lot from AA and from cooldown reduction, since he can get that spell shield up, he can get the Omni Splash Omni Slash up rather, and Spell Storm up, and deal a lot of damage through his auto attacks as well. This item is very powerful. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's very powerful, especially coupled with the cooldown reduction. It is balanced by spell and physical damage resist reduction on itself. Personally, I haven't seen it in action quite yet. I think it has interesting potential, and right now I think that trade-off is suitable for it. It could be tilted either way depending on, how it evolves in in-houses and in pubs and stuff like that. And more feedback is needed, I feel, for that. But at the moment, I kind of like it. I like where it is. I like that it gives movement speed, after the removal of boots. Cooldown reduction might be a little strong. That would be the only thing I would tweak. But other than that, it seems alright. It's a good pickup for AA carries that might be, naturally tanky. Especially with Boris' Spellstorm that gives him all the magic resist, having negative 20% spell resist on that doesn't really matter if you're completely magic immune. So the next item on our list is called Shinobi Style, and that is an agility item. And it gives 40 agility, 450 health, and 40 weapon damage. Really good for those AA carries that want to stay in the fight a little longer, because it makes you more durable. And this cloaks the user and grants 20% movement speed for up to 10 seconds to spells on attack or spellcast with a 20-second cooldown. For those of you that are familiar with Dota or for earlier versions of Aeon of Storms, formerly known as Sodas, this item is essentially, I forget if it was called Assassin's Cloak or Phase Cloak, except it doesn't give the bonus damage when you come out of Cloak. I like it. This is a good item. Might give a little heavy on the health side, even though it gives 20 more health on Zelnaga Carapace. But it's a very strong combination. It would be interesting as an escape mechanism or an initiation mechanism on those hard-hitting AA carries like Nova, or carries without a natural cloak like Boros or Shadow as an initiation, not with Shadow's ult and stuff. But maybe Marine King or Kane, perhaps, come out of the shadows, and, well, not so much Kane because it gives agility, but you get the picture. It's, it's very strong. I don't know. I like it where it is. Maybe leave it at that normal 30 weapon damage, because the cloak is very strong, especially without detection, like Observer Toolkits, which are just removed from the game for God knows whatever reason. It's something we'll talk about later. Next item is the Phantom Menace, and that is a agility item, which is right around, right here. This gives 50 agility, that's 10 more than Shinobi Style, and 8% movement speed, which is sort of like a boot substitute baseline number we're going to see a lot here. I believe something else gave it that, Masamune, I think? Don't quote me on that, but anyway, its unique passive is that you gain 15% movement speed while there are no enemy heroes in a 7-unit radius. That's very, very interesting, because this allows you to sort of farm not without fear, but with less fear. Farm solo lanes, farm the jungle, because this, makes you, very fast with that extra 15% movement speed on top of the 8% movement speed it gives you naturally. For engagements that you're trying to flee from, it might not be the best, given that, the presence of heroic units will slow you down considerably, almost, 66%. But it would be an interesting pickup for those that, like to farm in Solace. Again, your Shadows, your Novas, your Darbas, your Boroses even, maybe if you really want to hit harder with your agility instead of through Spellstorm like you should be. But Boros is fundamentally flawed right now, in my opinion. But, I don't know, it'd be a decent pickup. I don't think, I like where it is right now. It gives a lot of agility, built out of a pneumaticized cloak. 8 extra agility, that'll give you 8 more damage. I don't know, seems worth the price. Since, 1,000 mineral recipe. That's good. I like it. Next item on the list is the Kandarin Absorber, which I actually learned about this past game. This item is huge. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's absolutely almost game-breaking. I'm going to start getting this a lot now, especially for people that I lane with, people that are going to be in team fights, stuff like that. And this is, it gives 30 agility, intelligence, and strength. And its heroic, or its unique, is that whenever a non-heroic unit dies, like a creep or a neutral creep, dies within a 10-unit radius, you heal for 80 health and recover 40 energy. This is actually built out of Callous Weaver. And you combine that with the Sustainer. I always get Callous Weaver on pretty much whoever I get, because there's no reason not to. You combine that with a Sustainer and get this bad boy. Now, this has the potential to make farming very safe. Very, very safe. Because that health and energy you get back, just on kill, is huge. You don't have to activate it like Callous Weaver. It doesn't have max stacks like Callous Weaver. It, don't quote me on this, but yes, it heals significantly more than Callous Weaver. Although the energy gain's more minuscule, it is still more. It's a lot. And to get all this stuff passively, like, you don't even have to do the killing. You just have to be near dead stuff, or, you know, freshly dead stuff, and you gain all this health and all this energy. It's a lot. I think this item is very strong. This whole unique passive might need to be reworked completely, because this makes staying in lane very, very possible, even into the later stages of the game. Or later stages of the laning phase, rather. Because, I mean, you know, why not? If you're a support, and you want to stay in lane, and you don't have a heal, and you don't have any way to give anyone energy, get this item. That's all I'm going to say. After Callous Weaver, get Canter and Absorber, because this is great. You'll never leave lane. You'll never leave lane. And you can support your carry, or whoever, your pusher, whoever you want in lane, endlessly. Creep wave after creep wave. So I'm pretty sure this works on your own creeps. So, you know, what's in a creep wave? Like, let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 melee creeps, 2 range creeps, and a tank. You know, that's 80 times what? 7? It's 500 health right back. Boom. For 3,000 gold? Absolutely. Far more cheaper than regen. Normal regen. But I digress. This needs some serious looking at. I haven't seen it in play quite yet, so I can't really comment on, you know, its actual practical implications, but in theory, this item is very, very, very strong. Very strong. Moving on down the list, we have Star's Fury, which is very close to Stark's Fury from another game that people in this community like to play. But I digress. This gives 30 intelligence, 30 agility, 250 energy, 15% cooldown reduction, and 30% weapon speed. Unique passive is that using an ability causes your next attack to deal additional spell damage equal to 100% of your intelligence. Now, those of you who have played this other game that this item possibly refers to, League of Legends, this is an awful lot like Sheen. And that item does the same thing, uniquely, passively. Is that whenever you cast a spell, your next auto attack deals a fraction, if not all, of your ability power in that game, intelligence into this game, to your next auto attack. This is great for spammy casters that also have the potential to, you know, do auto attacks. DARPA immediately comes to mind. Spider Mines, his grenades, his toss that, hit him with your auto attack. You know, you'll be there all day. Even with Boros, you know, all these can pertain to Boros because it gives fucking intelligence and just makes Spellstorm even more questionably balanced. But this is great for auto attackers that, you know, hybrids and people that can spam spells that also kind of want to auto attack as well. So this item is very strong, and it might need some tweaking. Maybe reduce the ratio on the intelligence added to the next hit as spell damage. But hey, who knows? Next item on the list is Blue Jean and Olympic Torch. Let's see. These give... Well, Blue Jean first. This gives energy, so... Where are you at? for a very low price. It doesn't build into anything, doesn't have anything built into it. It gives 250 energy with 10% cooldown reduction. And every time you get a kill or assist, you gain 20 intelligence permanently for that life, stacking up to 5 times. All stacks are lost upon death. So you have the potential to gain 100 intelligence just for getting a kill or assist. If you are a ganker, if you are a support in a kill lane, I don't see why you wouldn't get this item for early game dominance. You're going to be hitting like a truck with your spells. And auto attacks too if you happen to be intelligence and a spellcaster. This is really good. And considering how mineral income works in this game, you're going to get those, 1250 minerals fairly quickly. You might have to save, but since you won't be getting boots, you might as well get this, and it gives cooldown reduction as well. That's always nice, so you can spam more spells, get more assists, and get up to 100 intelligence quicker. I think this item's great. Might be a little strong. Personally, I would cut that down to maybe 15 intelligence would be a pretty conservative change to this item, but I like the theory. It's sort of like Medjai's from League of Legends, but with its own so to speak twist. I like it. It's a snowball item that doesn't get too out of control. And its counterpart for strength. Nope, not for strength. Well, it gives strength. It gives instead health. It gives health naturally. It's a little more expensive than Blue Jean. It's 300 health, 10% spell resist. And does the same thing, but instead of intelligence, it gives 15 strength, also stacking up to 5 times for a maximum of 75 strength. If you're a tank or a tanky support in a kill lane, or if you're a tanky ganker, there's no reason not to get this item either, because you can get, that extra 75 strength fairly fast for 1,400 minerals. Personally, I like this where it is. I think it's cost-effective, makes you tankier without being too ridiculous. Spell resist is always nice against those pesky casters, which got mega buffed by all these new items. And I like it. I like it a lot. I think this one you don't really have to touch. I think it's fine where it is. Next item on the list is, if you let me scroll down in my notepad document, Shadowmourne. Yes, Shadowmourne. This gives what? Energy, clearly. It gives 450 energy, 6% movement speed, which is less than those other movement speed items, about 2% less, 20% weapon speed, and 20% crit chance. This is akin to Zeal in League of Legends, if you guys have played that, or Phantom Dancer, I don't remember which one. Yeah, this is Phantom Dancer, since Zeal would be Serrated Cleaver, but I digress. It's unique. Is very unique. I kind of dig this idea that your attacks against heroes spawn a shadow of the target for 3 seconds. Shadow follows the target around, dealing 75% of its weapon damage. For AA heroes, this is crazy. Especially heroes like Shadow, Boros, Darpa, Nova, that like to crit people in the face. Those with built-in crit, like Boros, love this item because it just... I don't know if they stack. Don't put me on record of saying that I absolutely know, but under my impression, if this is anything like League, it should stack. But creating this illusion is cool. I like that a lot. Dealing 75% of the weapon damage might be a bit much, especially if it's an anti-carry item for a carry, essentially. It's interesting. I like it a lot. I would probably tone the weapon damage down under 50, because this is supposed to be supplemental damage. You're going to get a lot of damage from this item already, with the increased weapon speed and increased crit chance. The energy and the movement speed are a nice bonus, especially if you're a caster, hybrid, auto-attacker like Gemnu Sporos, who all of these items seem to be sort of tailored to, but that's just my opinion. This illusion dealing 75% damage right now, and that's down from 80% when it originally came out, which was, whew, quite a lot. But it doing 75% is a step in the right direction. I would probably knock another 30% off that. Because you think, this is just supposed to be annoying. Illusions like this are common in Dota. Creating illusions of people or illusion damage or something like that. And this sort of percentage of weapon damage of the illusion target is usually reserved for ultimates. Specifically Darkseer's ultimate, which creates illusions of people that pass through this wall. They can deal upwards of 140% of weapon damage, but that's after Aghanim Scepter, which does not exist in this game, and that's with his ult maxed out. 75% damage, even on an item that costs this much, 3,600, is a little ridiculous, and I would definitely tone that down to under 50%, personally. This shouldn't be, like, you know, it's an anti-carry item, but I feel like this just is a little too powerful right now. After Shadow Morn is the Small Hadron Collider. And I got really excited when I saw this, because I used to buy this all the time in the good old 3.0 days on Garamond. And where is it? There it is. It does not give you the balls of death that it did before. It actually gives something a lot better. It gives health and timescale passively, and it has an active that allows you to teleport 9 units and then stun enemies in a 3-unit radius for 1 second. This is actually built out of Warp Shard and Xel'Naga Cartilage, since it gives you a little extra health. Having the Blink item in this game built into something is very interesting. Having it cost 4,000 minerals is also very interesting. Up until now, I did not know it built out of Warp Shard. Why my note here says, why is Warp Shard still in this game? This is definitely a tier 4 item, no doubt about it. You're gonna have to save up for this one, especially initiators that can definitely benefit from this. It actually means that there might be a reason to actually get Warp Shard on Micro. Who knew, just to build into the Small Hadron Collider, because he benefits from the health. Having another Blink, ain't so bad. And I assume, in the future, when there are more initiators, they'll definitely benefit from, 1 second AoE stun on impact of a teleport in. Jackson totally benefits from this, I feel. You stun, you do your ult, and bam, that's it. This item is very powerful. Again, having not seen it in action, I don't know how it is in the in-house community or in the pub environment, but I feel like 4,000 is a pretty good price for something that is this powerful. I'm going to say, tentatively, leave it as it is, but leaning towards it might be a little strong. That's my take on that. Next is Aggressor's Guise, which is a strength item. Costs 4250, gives strength, 60 agility, 20% cooldown reduction, and a little extra move speed. 6%, not that 8% that I said was the baseline before. They'll have a cloak and cybernetic implants. I mean, it's a good item, gives you a little bit of everything. Good for cooldown. If, you're tanky, you want to carry more and you got some spells, this is for you. Again, Gemnu Boros. Get tankier, spam more spell storms, be a little faster, a little extra agility for those auto attacks, and you're good to go. Outside of him, I don't know. Kayn could benefit from the attack speed from the agility, right? That still gives it, it still gives attack speed and armor. Yeah, put it on Kayn, put it on Marine King, put it on Leo maybe. It's a great item, Doesn't have a passive, doesn't really need a passive. I'd leave this as is. This is pretty cool. I like Aggressor's Guise. Next is Sliptide Scythe. That's another agility item. Here we go. It gives you 50 agility and 18% spell resist. And the unique passive grants yourself 12% spell resist and 6% movement speed for 3 seconds on attack. And this is made out of pneumaticized cloak and the nullifier. This is a good pickup for carries that like to stack auto attacks, and there's a troublesome caster on the other team like Cypress or Queen, or maybe Garamond's nuking you down or something, or I don't know, Brine's doing you in, or Sentry, or someone. And you want to attack, you want to hit harder, you want to hit faster, you want that agility for your auto attacks, and you don't want to get blown up. Get Sliptide Scythe. Because the longer you're in there, hammering away, the less that magic attack's going to do. And then, in a pinch, you can just run out. I don't know why you would get additional movement speed on additional auto attacks, except for chasing. For escaping, it seems a little redundant, because you wouldn't want to hit the guy and then run, unless you get a sudden change of heart. On that point, I sort of don't get it, but this is an okay item. Personally, I wouldn't really pick it up. I don't think it really needs much changing. Maybe tweak the bonuses for the unique passive a bit. Instead of movement speed, maybe, I don't know, flat health, maybe small amounts of weapon speed. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. Next item is Lethal Barb. Now I know this one's stirring up a lot of debate on the forums. Gives you 40 agility and 20% crit chance. And your crit strikes boost your weapon speed by 100% for 2 seconds. And this is, of course, made of 2 Psionic Ravagers and a Chaos Prism. This is very powerful, especially for heroes with built-in crit chance. If this crit chance stacks, that makes it even more ridiculous. This is a must-have for heroes, especially those with built-in crit chance, like Horus and Nova. I understand this was changed recently. Maybe it wasn't. Actually, wow. Oh, wow, they took crit damage off Double Strike. That's interesting. Well, that's sort of like a drop in the bucket. Anyway, I like this item a lot. I think it's very powerful. Doubling your weapon speed for 2 seconds, though, might be a bit much. It doesn't provide much in the way of survivability, but if you're going for that glass cannon build, I'd say pick this baby up, because you're going to be whacking at dudes fast. Very fast with this. Personally, I would nerf this a little bit. Maybe a more conservative 60% weapon speed might be nicer. More within the confines of playability. Next item is Symphonic Seed. That is an intelligence item. And this is something, if I recall. He has 50 intelligence and 250 health. Built out of the Emerald Mox and Higgs Boson capacitor. And the unique passive is that every time you get a kill or assist, you recover 20% of your maximum energy and 50% cooldown reduction for 10 seconds. Holy shit. This is good. It's a very, very good item, especially for the price. 2,900? You kidding me? That's really good, especially in prolonged team fights. I'm pretty sure the passives given by this item is sort of the passives from an ultimate from a hero in Dota. Regaining 20% of your max energy is big. I mean, energy conservation in Aeon of Storms right now is a joke. Late game, you'll always have mana or energy. Because there's, you can spam your spells till the cows come home. Most of them are meant to be punishing in the early game, but in the late game, the mana pools just get so big that you don't even have to care. You don't have to care about anything, and it doesn't even matter. Sorry, I got a text. It's very powerful. I don't know about percentage-based energy regeneration. Maybe something more conservative like flat energy regeneration upon kill or assist. It might make things a bit more, I don't know, manageable. Especially with energy management being the joke that it is right now, late game. I realize this is going very long, so I'll talk about the omissions in another recording. Next item is Cerebro. Let's see. Oh, that's not even talking about, the 50% cooldown reduction, especially for those long cooldown ultimates like, I don't know, Ultralisk, Omni Slash, stuff like that. I don't know about 50% cooldown reduction. I'd maybe tone that down to 30, maybe even 25. Ooh, we got a tower. How nice. Cerebro gives intelligence. There you are. And you gain 75 intelligence, which is a lot of intelligence, and crit chance, 22% to be precise. And your critical strikes reduce all of your cooldowns by 4 seconds. It can occur only once every 2 seconds. This item was designed for Boros. Straight up, no other way around it. Maybe even Nova. Because I don't know who else would benefit from the scaling from intelligence and the crit chance, quite like Boros. I'm sorry, this item was designed for him. Lowering cooldowns by a flat amount is very, very powerful, especially for heroes that would benefit from this, who usually have low cooldown abilities, like Spellstorm, like, I don't know, I mean, well, they're not low cooldown abilities, but they're low enough so that this would make a definite impact. Stuff like Bolus, Spellstorm, and Omnislash. Cerebro makes these cooldowns a joke. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Even at 4,900. Like, you know, it's an incredibly expensive item. In fact, just looking around, well, maybe not the most expensive item, but it's definitely up there. It's really powerful. I don't like it. I don't like it as an item. I feel like it's very, like, you know, who really benefits from intelligence and crit chance other than Boros? It's not too modular. I don't see the synergies. I don't like it. Maybe new heroes will come along, and it'll be good for them, but for this, I don't like it at all. I don't like it with the current hero pool. I think it benefits Boros and maybe Nova and no one else, really, but that's just me. Next item is the Shrink Ray. This is 60 intelligence, 20 weapon speed, built out of Higgs boson, graviton booster. And your attacks reduce the weapon damage of the target by 35% for 3 seconds. That's a lot. That's a lot. It's an anti-carry item for these intelligence weapon speed carries that happen to be Boros. I mean, I don't know really what else to tell you here. A lot of these items were sort of made for Boros. I think in the future when there are, you know, intelligence heroes that benefit from attack speed, this would be great on them. But right now, it seems like it's only really great on Boros and Nova. Sorry. Both of those heroes seem to have a very nice percentage of these new items that they benefit from. That's just the way it is. Hive Symbiosis is our next one. This one gives agility as well. Hive Symbiosis is... it gives Agi. Here we go. It gives 50 agility, 15% lifesteal, and units nearby allied units in a 10-unit radius heal you for 6% of their damage dealt. Now, this includes creeps and heroes, and it means that you're going to be hitting a lot harder with this 50% agility. You're going to be hitting a lot faster if you're this carry, and you get this lifesteal. So you're already getting health back, but you gain health back for 6%, which is a pretty low number, all things considered. I don't know. It's 3,900 minerals, which is a lot. Don't get me wrong, but this seems very strong. Maybe 3% of physical damage dealt, because that can be a lot. It can be an awful lot. Like, you know, if you're side farming a lane while everyone else is off doing God knows what, the amount of damage your creeps are doing to the other creeps is going to heal you up for a bunch, making farming even, you can stay around even longer, and then you can go jungle. And then if you get beat up, you just go back in the lane, go back to near where your creeps are fighting. And you're right back, you know, close to, if not at, full health. I don't like it too much. Kinetic Battery is the next item. It gives 20 agility, there you are. 20 agility, 250 energy, and 20% weapon damage. By the way, for Hive Symbiosis, I'd get it for any carry that likes to farm, that doesn't really have a survival mechanism. Otherwise, DARPA, well, not Boros. Yeah, not Boros. Shadow, definitely. Nova, maybe. I don't know. Even though she has her cloak. Kinetic Battery gives, you know, that stuff. And everyone gets energy regen around you, and you can restore 250 energy to yourself and nearby allies. This is a replacement for Time Walker's Greaves, straight up. Since boots don't exist anymore, they have to put this in. And it's okay. If you're an agility hero that has mana or energy problems, which you shouldn't in late game, this is the item for you. Go for it. And it's a great support item, you know, for, you know, Agi heroes that are supports, which I don't really think there are many of at all, this item's for you. Go for it. You got this. Not much to say. There you go. Galactic Defender is our next item. Gives weapon damage. It's 4800. Gives 80 weapon damage. Clearly built out of that Hyperion Incinerator. And 18% spell resist. And it gives you 1000 health and shields for 5 seconds. I'll take 1000 health any day. It's really good. It's really, really good. 1000 extra health is very good for one-on-one engagements in team fights when you want to initiate with like an Omni Slash or something like that. If you're, you know, rushing in there headlong like an idiot and, you know, you need that little extra health, go for it. If you're running low and escaping, you know, it's on a 30-second cooldown. It'll probably be up by the end of the fight. I say go for it. Deals a lot of damage. You know, solves pesky caster problems. Go for it. Yeah. The last item I will be discussing as a singular item will be Gravity's Edge. This item is very, very strong. It gives 70 intelligence, 20 weapon damage, 6% movement speed. And its unique passive is that it transforms 35% of your spell damage to true damage. Now, I thought when this first came out, it was broken. It was going to make casters completely overpowered. It was going to make nukers rule the metagame forever. And then it got nerfed down from 50%, which was catastrophic, to 35%, which is more manageable. If you actually do the math, the boost in power is less than 10%, but it's still very powerful, especially in conjunction with other items like Argus Crystal or Aeon Crystal or anything that boosts, you know, spell damage or gives a lot of intelligence. This gives 70 intelligence, which is a lot of intelligence. I don't even know why it gives weapon damage, because I can't really think of anyone that would really benefit from the weapon damage. I wouldn't pick this up on Boros or any other hybrid, you know, caster, AA, or, you know, 20 weapon damage is sort of a drop in the pot. You know, I'd just nix that. I'd put something else on there, maybe like energy regeneration, flat energy, maybe even cooldown reduction if you want to break this item further. At 35%, I still think it's a little strong. Maybe tone it down to 30, maybe. I don't know. 35 seems to be still within the realm of reality, but I don't know. You know, it's obviously unique that it converts your spell damage output into true damage output, which actually means that Boros can be hurt in his spell storm. And for other heroes in the future that might be magic immune, this would be a definite pickup to counter that. It gives you a fighting chance, actually. It's very powerful. I would pick it up on any spellcaster, any nuker. Like, you know, I'd pick it up on any nuker that doesn't already deal true damage. So I wouldn't pick it up on Rory or Dustin Brawler, but I would pick it up, and have picked it up, on Queen, definitely. And then I would definitely pick it up on Cypress, since it's a common pickup on him already, and it should be, you know, picked up on him in the future. But the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is a trio of items that have come in and really shaken things up. It's called, the items are Lost Treasure, Leeching Saber, and Miner's Goggles. Let's go over to health real quick. And these items give flat health, 280 health. That's what Miner's Goggles gives, rather. Lost Treasure gives 5 health regen, 1.5 energy regen, and Leeching Saber gives 15% lifesteal. But they all have the same unique passive, and that passive is you gain 5 minerals every 10 seconds. That is a lot. That's a lot. That's big. That's huge. And apparently it also builds into Darksteel Titan, which is something. It's gold per 5 items are in League of Legends, okay? And the idea is, I don't want to say jacked from there, but it clearly inspires these items. League of Legends went through a phase where in the metagame, stacking these items was a big thing, because you get free money. You get 5 free minerals every 10 seconds. And If you get multiples of these, you know, your natural income, when you're not killing creeps, gets out of hand. You start just getting all this money, and then after a while, after it pays for itself naturally, you just sell them, or you build them into other things, and you're good to go. You know, getting free items is just like ridiculous. And there was a time when you know, they did stack rather in League of Legends, and they changed that so they wouldn't stack on top of each other. So then people just got all of them in a row, because those unique passives between those items didn't stack. And I understand that's how it's intended for an Aeon of Storms, but right now I understand that it's not working as intended. If it is working as intended, and you can get Lost Treasure and Miner's Goggles and Leeching Saber, and you end up getting 15 minerals every 10 seconds, something should be done about that, because that is stupid. For carries that go into the late game and they want items fast, get these. If you're a ganker and you know you're not farming creeps in between kills, get these items. There's no reason not to. They all give sustainability. Farm the jungle forever with your lifesteal and your regen, your flat health. It makes it really easy to rice, which is almost derogatory slang for farming. I feel like the inclusions of these items is going to slow down the metagame a lot. It makes punishing, it reduces the punishment for roaming and ganking, which should be something that should be a sort of cost-benefit analysis. This takes away a lot of the cost. I don't like them. I don't like their inclusion at all, personally. I think that stuff should be left in League of Legends and excluded from this. It's a different dimension of the game. You know, props to Red Hydra or RNG for implementing it, but I don't like these items in the game at all. I think they should be taken out, or in some way reworked. Not Hand of Midas in 4.0 reworked, mind you, because that was ridiculous. I think that we have smart enough developers that we can do something a little more creative than Hand of Midas or Alchemist Bones from Dota or Han, respectively. But I don't like these items at all. Stay tuned for another video on the removed items. I'll be discussing them in detail in another video. But thanks for watching, and hopefully you can stick around and put a few more of these out. So stay tuned, and have a great day.